of Tourism.
Maybe I go to my. Oh, thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Through you, I would like to thank the honorable member from Lilongwe Nkoma for his question. His first part of the question is asking the Ministry of Tourism to consider constructing a 5-star hotel close to Nkoma Mountain and a road to Tuma Forest Game Reserve as a way of fostering tourism in line with Malawi 2063. Madam Speaker, the Malawi 2063 acknowledges the rich cultural and natural resources the country has that are yet to be harnessed for tourism. These resources include the Nkoma Mountain and the Tuma Forest Reserve. As a way of utilizing these unexploited resources, the Ministry of Tourism, on the direction of the National Tourism Policy, developed a National Tourism Investment Master Plan, which is a blueprint on how we want to take our tourism from now to the next 20 years. And this master plan, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, was ably launched by the Excellency the President in April 2022. The master plan, it zoned out the entire country into 28 districts, and we demarcated those districts into 10 tourism nodes. And each node identified all the tourism resources in the node that list major attractions in the node. The honorable member may wish to note that Nkoma Mountain is listed under the Lilongwe Zalanyama node under project number 12, and the project identified in the development is the development of the Nkoma Mountain Tourism Center and trails. This project, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, includes tourist adventure activities such as mountain biking, pony rides, and a zip line. A tourism center equipped with restaurants, washrooms, and other amenities will be a start of all the activities. The public sector investment will enrich the tourist experience to Nkoma Mountain and increase visitation. We expect that the increased visitation and enriched experience will attract investments from the private sector for construction of the restaurant, a hotel, a zip line, and other tourist activities in the medium to long term. The Ministry of Tourism, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, has also noted the request by the honorable member to construct a road from Nkoma Mountain to Tuma Forest, which covers roughly a distance of about 24 kilometers. The honorable member may note that under the access to road results, which my ministry implements under the Public Investment Program, PSIP, the Ministry of Tourism considers the last mile infrastructure which are less than 5 kilometers. In this regard, therefore, the honorable member is being directed to put his request with the Lilongwe or Salima district councils so that this can be included in their development programs. On the second part of the question, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, he's asking if we could consider putting up a cable vehicle to ascend and descend the Nkoma Mountain and the tourist apparatus. As I already mentioned, Madam First Deputy Speaker, the Tourism Investment Master Plan recognizes Nkoma Mountain as an important tourist attraction in the Lilongwe Zalanyama node under Project 2 in the Master Plan. And the zip line is inclusive, which may also include or accommodate a cable car. Once again, Madam First Deputy Speaker, let me reiterate that my ministry will enhance the mountain by developing trails and visit amenities such as washrooms and information center, because at the moment, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, people already visit Nkoma Mountain, but we don't have those kind of facilities. Thank you so much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism, for that response. Honorable Member for Mwanza Central, what has gone out of order?
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I pressed the button with an intention for a supplementary question, not necessarily an order.
Honorable Member, what you did is to ask for the floor for a point of order. I will forgive you because we are still in the gadget anyway.
And by the way, we are the 90.
So you'll be the first one to ask, thereafter Machinga East, then Chikwawa Central, in that order, please.
Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. I rise to ask a supplementary question to the Honorable Minister of Tourism in the context of exploring, identifying, developing, and planning to visit one of the most scenic mountain, a hill called Msinjanamwali. The very name has a cultural connotation. And through Mwanza District Council, we have, or they have requested us, that is members of parliament, to ask the Honorable Minister to send officials to come and see this Mpinjanamwali hill or area where most tourists are coming, particularly from Mkondezi and Manicaland province in Mozambique. But since it's at the border with, on the Malawi side, I would want to persuasively request the Honorable Minister to ask her ministry to come with officials so that they could advise us as how best we can develop this panoramic, scenic, nice, beautiful, quaint, gorgeous, cute place. Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. This hill is surrounds some village, Zikaloka, Chipondeni,
and all the villages in your constituency. Thank you. Machinga East.
Good morning, Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Madam, I'm rising to ask a policy question to the Honorable Minister responsible for tourism. We have noted just recently that the ministry initiated a policy on Visit Malawi project, and we have seen that the minister herself, as well as officials from the ministry, they have been trying to put Malawi on the map by visiting some of the countries, just in trying to make Malawi visible. The question from that one, Madam, is to find out whether this initiative is bringing positive response to the country, and whether we have already started maybe appreciating or even benefiting from the initiative. I would want the Honorable Minister to inform Malawians on what benefit are we getting from that initiative. I submit, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you. The people of Chikwawa Central.
Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for according the people of Chikwawa Central to ask a supplementary question. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, last sitting of Parliament, I did ask a question to the Minister about the boundaries for Lengwe National Park. And she was very kind enough to mention that she will visit the area as soon as she can. Now, Madam Speaker, we are going towards the end of the year. I don't know when exactly she will visit the area, especially under TNP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism. Respond to those three questions.
Thank you very much, Madam First Deputy Speaker. Mwanza Central wants us to send officials to see the mountain Msinjanamwali. Msinjanamwali, which is panoramic, scenic, cute, gorgeous, and all of that, all the adjectives that he can use, he used them, Madam First Deputy Speaker. Just to say that you will definitely send. Madam Speaker, but I also wanted to say one thing, that we are working very closely with our counterparts from the Ministry of Local Government to ensure that we are devolving tourism development products. Why we are doing so is that if we have this panoramic, scenic, and beautiful and gorgeous mountain in a particular place like Mwanza Central is saying, why must Mwanza Central, people from Mwanza Central, not benefit from the process of the same? So if people are going there, Madam Speaker, you will notice that they are paying nothing. So we are thinking that that's an anomaly that we need to correct from the tourism perspective. I went to Mulanje Mountain, Madam First Deputy Speaker, and I only paid 300 Gwaja. and that 300 kwacha didn't even go to the council. So we are thinking that we need to devolve the tourism development, and we're working closely with our counterparts from the Ministry of Local Government so that we can see how best we can do so. The investment master plan, like I've already articulated, it identified 103 projects across the country, from Chitipa Wenya to Sanje Maga. But we are saying that it is going to be wrong if all the proceeds that are going to be realized from there will go to account number one, all the taxes and all of that. We need to ensure that the district councils there, they're the first ones to benefit. The people that are privileged enough by God to be in those places, they should be benefiting from the tourism attraction that God in his infinite mercies gladly gave us. So yes, definitely we'll send a team of officials to see how best we can develop that, mountain, so that it can be one of the products that we're going to use in the tourism arena. Machinga East is talking about a policy question in terms of the Visit Malawi campaign, the Tiziamba Ndife Malawi campaign, and where we are at as far as leveraging on benefits from there. Madam First Deputy Speaker, just to announce to the House that at the moment, as a sector, we have fully recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic. We have fully recovered. Pre-COVID-19 figures were around 936,000, somewhere there, in terms of visitors. But at the moment, we have surpassed that number. We are about 1.2 million visitors. But just to say that the visitors that are coming into our country, Madam First Deputy Speaker, at the moment, 60% they're coming here for business. And we want to flip those numbers now so that people should be coming to Malawi for leisure and entertainment and holidays. And that's what we are working on, Madam First Deputy Speaker. And one of the issues that we need to do is exactly what I was talking about in the question that I was addressing from Mazan Centro, to say, when these people come for holiday or adventure or leisure, what exactly are they going to see? And that's where the product development element of our work comes into play. So Machinga is just to say that we are benefiting, and it is, we are now fully recovered from COVID-19 pandemic. Chikwawa Central is talking about the boundary issue on the Lengwe National Park. Like I promised, we will definitely come so that we come and discuss. So I would want to engage you personally. We will definitely come so that we discuss this issue. We are also dealing with the same issues at the Kasongo National Park, and we are almost 90% resolved on those issues. And I want to believe that we could do the same thing with the people of Lengwe National Park in Chikwawa Central. With those remarks, Madam First Deputy Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism, Leader of the House.
Yeah, thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker. I'm rising to ask that we introduce, I beg that we introduce a supplementary order paper, and this is to do with the PPDA Act and the money bills that are to be secreted to the Honorable House. Thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I now put a question, and the question is that supplementary order paper be introduced to the House. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Leader.
Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to beg that we waive the current order paper in order for us to tackle government business bills. And this time around, we start with the insurance bill. That's bill number 26 of 2024. I beg to move.
Honorable members, we have a motion before us, and the motion is asking the House to waive today's order paper in order for the House to tackle government business bills. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
General business, government business, item 3C, Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, first reading.
Oh. Honorable Minister, before you, I just want to make this clarification that we had question understanding order 14, and it was supposed to come soon after question time. But now that we have already moved the motion, then we have to proceed with business the way we have moved it. I see Honorable Machinga Northeast on a point of order. I know you want to raise the same issue. Honorable Minister, second reading when?
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, today and now.
Honorable members, I now put a question, and the question is that second reading of Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, be taken now. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Government business, 3C, second reading, financial bill number 26 of 2024, insurance.
Honorable Minister, proceed.
Thank you very much. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the insurance bill be now read. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the bill before us seeks to replace the Insurance Act, Chapter 4701, to address the limitations of the Act. Its main objective, Madam Speaker, is to make provisions for the regulation of the insurance industry and the supervision of insurance entities in order to promote safety, soundness, prudent management, and highest standard of conduct of business of insurance entities for the benefit and protection of policyholders. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the background to this is that Insurance Act was enacted in 2011 to provide a legal framework for the supervision and regulation of the insurance sector. However, during the implementation of the Act, some gaps were noted which had been hampering the regulation, supervision, and growth of the insurance industry. The bill before us, therefore, the bill will therefore repeal and replace the Insurance Act of 2011 with the aim of making better provision for regulation of insurance industry in order to protect policyholders and the general public. It will also address the limitations of the current Act and emerging issues in the insurance sector. The bill, among other things, will provide the following: licensing, authorization, and supervision of key players in the insurance industry. The requirement for insurers and insurance brokers to develop and implement corporate governance and risk management frameworks to minimize operational risks. Framework for the supervision of insurance entities by the registrar. Investment by insurers and prescribes investments that require prior written approval of the registrar with a view to protecting policyholders. statutory management of an insurer where, among other reasons, the insurer has failed to comply with this regulation or legislation or any regulatory requirement, or where the registrar determines that the insurer is in unsafe or unsound condition to transact business and the insurer is unable to promptly address condition. Reorganization and dissolution of insurance entities. Voluntary and compulsory winding up of insurance entities. Mandatory insurance for public works and buildings to cover liability for death, injury, and loss resulting from hazards or building collapse, fire, earthquake, storm, or floods to workers and members of the public who visit the premises, and offences and provides penalties for contravention of the legislation. Madam Deputy Speaker, this bill contains 112 sections and its key provisions are outlined below. A, it provides for licensing, authorization, and supervision of key players in the insurance industry. The bill also provides for suspension of a license or authorization in case of a minor breach of the law or a license term condition, and revocation of a license in case a serious breach of the law or a license term and condition. B, it prescribes a requirement for insurers and insurance brokers to develop and implement corporate governance and risk management frameworks to minimize operational risks. This bill further prescribes a requirement for directors and managers of insurers and insurance brokers to meet fit and proper requirements prescribed by the registrar of financial institutions to ensure that the institutions are managed by people with the requisite professional qualifications, skills, and integrity. It also does prescribe operational requirements for insurers, which include requirements to meet capital and service requirements, settlement of insurance claims, placement of insurance business in mariculture, and appointment of auditors and actuaries to undertake annual audits and valuation of assets respectively. D, it provides for repayment or payment and collection of premiums. In this respect, Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill provides that an insurance policy shall be valid upon payment of premium to the insurer. An intermediary who collects premium on behalf of insurer is required to remit the premium to the insurer within 24 hours of collection. And E, the bill provides a framework for supervision of insurance entities and further provides for group supervision of an insurance entity where the entity is part of a group of companies. It also does provide for investment by insurers and prescribed investments that require prior written approval of the registrar with a view to protect policyholders. The bill further authorizes an insurer to lend to a policyholder where the policyholder undertakes to use his or her policy with the insurer as collateral for the loan. It also does provide for statutory management of an insurer where, among other reasons, the insurer has failed to comply with the legislation or any regulatory requirement, or when the RFI determines that the insurer is unsafe and sound condition to transact business and the insurer is unable to promptly address the condition. It also does provide for reorganization and dissolution of insurance entities. It makes provision for voluntary and compulsory winding up of insurance entities where the RFI revokes the license of the entity. It makes provision for appointment of a liquidator and the process to be followed in liquidation or liquidating the entity. It provides for mandatory insurance of public works and buildings to cover liability for death, injury, and loss resulting from hazards of building collapse, fire, floods to workers and members of the public who visit the premises. The RFI will be required to establish a disaster fund to which insurers of public works and buildings will remit a portion of the premiums collected. The fund will be used to procure equipment and facilities required in firefighting services, disaster rescue operations, and any other disaster-related service prescribed by the RFI. And finally, the bill aims to remove inconsistencies and to provide for new definitions in the Act, generally remove and or amend inefficient provisions in the Act and provide for better administration of the Act by the RFI. Madam Speaker, this bill, once enacted, will address emerging issues in the insurance sector and make provision for the regulation of the insurance industry. The bill will also enhance supervision of insurance entities to promote safety, soundness, prudent management, and the highest standard of conduct of business of insurance entities for the benefit and protection of policyholders. I therefore, Madam Speaker, would like to invite the whole House, honorable members of this august House, to support the bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the bill number 26 of 2024 be laid the second time. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable members, may I have a spokespersons, starting with DPP.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker.
Proceed, Mangochi Southwest.
Yes.
Yes, proceed.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, first of all, I stand here to respond on behalf of the mighty Democratic Progressive Party, whose leadership is His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, to respond to the proposed insurance bill of 2024. Madam First Deputy Speaker, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, without necessarily going through what the Minister of Finance has presented, you will allow me just a minute to briefly state what we see in this bill, that this bill is repealing and replacing Insurance Act, which was there, Chapter 4701, to address emerging issues in the industry, in the insurance industry, and that the main objective is to regulate this industry as well as supervise the insurance entities to promote safety, soundness, prudent management, and highest standards of conduct for the benefit and protection of policyholders, for the benefit and protection of consumers, and which are Malawians. There are a number of good things in this bill. For example, we are talking about licensing and supervision. We are talking about corporate governance and risk management, operational requirements for insurers. We also have liquidation, or what we call companies when they're in distress, how are they going to be managed? And we also have premium payment and correction
Now it will be a requirement that insurance premiums once paid, they should be limited to the insurer by broker within 24 hours. That is a plus. And that they won't have middlemen in between. That is also a plus. And also there is an arrangement for investment and lending. That is also a plus. However, Madam Speaker, any bill, as good as it may appear like this one, it has certain gray areas that require us to address. And we are going to speak to these gray areas as Democratic Progressive Party. First of all, this bill, and I would want the Minister of Finance to be listening. Please, thank you very much, Mr. Minister of Finance. This bill lacks sufficient detail. We needed the more precise definitions and quantitative measures in areas such as capital adequacy, solvency margins, and also we needed to clearly define some procedures which are crucial to minimize ambiguity and also ensure that there is consistent application of this bill. For example, the bill does not state the fit and proper requirements. In the bill, you are referred to another bill, which is the Financial Services Bill. We believe that this bill should be standalone because it is regulating the insurance industry. The bill also falls short of providing clarity in the reinsurance arrangements. There must be some minimum guidelines. For example, if you want to reinsure your business, are you going to insure 100%? Are you going to insure 5% of that business? What is the best level, the best amount that you can reinsure? Because this is a safety standard to make sure that the companies are protected in the event of liquidation or in the event of failing to limit the premium or the payment of the amount that has been insured. Again, Madam Speaker, there is also need for more clarity in terms of when you can now initiate what we call liquidation mechanisms. For a company that is in distress, at what point would the registrar, what are the trigger points for a company to be, put into a liquidation process? That needs also to be properly explained in this bill. There is section 26 in the bill. It is permitting subsidiary companies to own shares in a holding company. However, it does not state how much that can be allowed. There could be a situation, if we leave it open-ended, you could have a situation where a subsidiary company will end up owning a holding company, its own holding company. So there also must be some guidelines, protection, safety nets in that regard. There is section 30 and section 33. It provides for termination of insurance broking contracts, and this is only one side that the insurance company can do that, can terminate the contract. What about the broking company? A broking company may also wish to move out of a contract, and surely they should be given that leeway to do so under the law. Then there is this section 59, Madam Speaker, which is allowing policyholders to obtain a loan from an insurance company. Put it maybe in a different way, allowing the insurance companies to begin to provide loans to policyholders. The provision or the mandate to provide loans currently rests with the financial institutions. The Honorable Minister may wish to reconcile that with the Financial Services Bill. Are we now beginning to allow insurance companies to lend money, something a service that is already being done by the financial institutions? Are we not creating competition with the financial institutions? This may also need to be looked at. Then there is this mandatory insurance and disaster fund. There is need to specify, because it is really gray in the Act. This disaster fund, who is going to manage it? What are the oversight functions or arrangements? How is it going to be allocated? The funds are going to be allocated. And ancillary to that, the bill now also is introducing a requirement by owners, and please, the whole House through you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, you need to note this. The bill is introducing a mandatory insurance to owners and occupiers of public building. Insurance to owners, and now public buildings. In the Act, the way they have described it is any building, they say any building, let me just read so that a public building means a building to which members of the public have ingress and egress, and includes a tenement house, a hostel, or lodge. In simple words, it's a building that people enter and also people go out. And we have so many, and you can think of so many buildings. We have the churches, we have the mosques, we have in our constituencies the primary schools, the secondary schools, we have the hospitals, CBOs, and everything, you name it. What is now this law requiring us to do is we must ensure so that if anyone is injured while entering and coming out of these buildings, insurance must be paid. The question is, while this may be a good law, it's a standard international best practice, but in our situation where we are a nation that we seek more resources, we have lots of competing needs, our budget, the budget that we've just passed, it's you can see that we are also borrowing and so forth. Where will government, number one, where will government find the money to insure these buildings? What about those non-governmental organizations? What about the religious bodies? They own lots of schools. How are they going to manage to source money to insure for their buildings? Are we not shooting ourselves in the foot? And this is what we would want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to consider. Again, Madam Speaker, assuming that yes, there is that need for us to insure our buildings, can we not extend the same provision to operations of cabazas? Right now, the cabazas are not insured. Can the Minister of Finance look at appropriate mechanisms to ensure that the riders, the passengers, even the drivers of cabaza, particularly the motorcycles, are insured? Some time back, the Minister of Health complained that over about 3.3 billion is being spent just to take care of patients that have sustained injuries, in a cabaza business. So, can the minister also maybe explore ways of how this business can be also safeguarded and insured? Proceeding, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the DPP also notes the discrepancies and discrimination with regard to offences and penalties. Under this regime, what we have seen is that if you are an individual, an actual person, an individual, you have been found wanting under the law, you could be penalized with a financial penalty, say 10 million, but also you will be imprisoned for a maximum period of 10 years, which is a double punishment, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Contrast that with the companies and corporate organizations. They are saying the corporate companies will just pay, for example, where you are paying, an individual is paying 10 million, they are saying the company will just pay 25 million, no imprisonment. So we would want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to go beyond the companies, lift the veil, and also begin to penalize the directors as well. Finally, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, there is also a provision, section 107. It's introducing that under importation, when you're importing a vehicle, for example, from Japan, you import CIF, cost insurance freight. Now, this bill has dismantled, has taken the insurance, that insurance should be done locally by our local companies. Imagine you have imported a vehicle from Japan, it's in transit, and whatever happens in transit, how then are we going to make sure that that vehicle is restored to its original nature if we have insured with the local company? Is it a question of just preserving the forex? Maybe the minister could look at better ways of managing that instead of removing the insurance out of the CIF from importation. And this applies not only vehicles, everything that we are importing, it must be insured. Having reached this far, therefore, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, we would want to say this, that this bill requires comprehensive review. When we were doing the research, we approached the Association of Insurance Players. They said they are not aware of this bill. I also approached the Bankers Association. They said they are not aware of this bill. I also did approach the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Malawi. They said they are not aware of this bill. Much as it is urgent, I would want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to refer this bill to the necessary committee, which is Budget and Finance, for a comprehensive review. With that, therefore, on behalf of the Mighty Democratic Progressive Party and our President, who is coming on 16th September 2025, I submit our position. Thank you very much, Madam First Deputy Speaker. Sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The people of Mangochi Southwest, representing DPP. Now it's time for you, DF, to respond to the bill. Honorable Member for Mangochi South, representing UDF, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing Mangochi South on behalf of UDF. Madam Speaker, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, unfortunately, our spokesperson who was supposed to reply on this is out, but I'll just say a few words. UDF supports this bill because of the noble aim to protect policyholders. Because of that, protecting policyholders, UDF supports the bill because we have experienced a lot of problems up to now, where especially insurance brokers, the ones who stand on behalf of the proper insurance company. Madam Deputy Speaker, they make us dance up and down. When an accident takes place, you go up and down, and some of them want a little bit something to get before they do the service to you quickly. So a lot of things have happened, and I'm sure all members, they all know this. I don't think I'm the only one who was, not only me, I mean people that I represent. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, this is a very technical bill. And if I heard correctly from the colleague from DPP, that all stakeholders haven't been consulted. And here we are, we want to pass this bill quickly. Is it not possible, even just give it a day, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, so that our stakeholders, why are you fearing them? The Bankers Association, the insurance associations, and what have you, why are you fearing them? I mean, this law affects them, and we are the lawmakers. Let me say, it's not that I don't support the bill. I support the bill because it's going to protect us, policyholders. But if it's true, what the member of DPP has said, is it not possible just to delay the bill until tomorrow and the stakeholders are consulted? With these few remarks, UDF supports the bill, but with the consultations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Manguchi South, representing UDF. Leader of the House.
Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, for the first time in this House.
Honorable Member, I have given the floor to the Honorable Leader.
For the first time in this House, I've never liked the Honorable Namalomba the way I've liked him today. Honorable Namalomba spoke very well.
Honorable Member, Honorable Leader of the House, he has a constituency.
Mangochi Southwest. Today he reminded me that he really belongs to us. Anyway, I also thank you, Mangochi South, for such wonderful words. I know many could have wanted to speak on the bill, but look, we have quite a lot of bills today. These two would do a very good representation of our thoughts. I therefore beg to move that debate be cut out in order to allow the Honorable Minister wind up debate. I beg to move.
Honorable members, we have a motion on the floor, and the motion is to ask the House to curtail debate in order for the Honorable Minister to wind up. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The noes have it, and you have heard it. You have heard it. No, it's not a secret. You have heard it. The noes have it, and the motion is defeated. Why are you standing? Division granted. Honorable Leader, You have the floor.
Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to propose that we withdraw the division, but I would like to move a motion. The motion is that we allow 2 or 3 more people to speak, but we conclude this bill before lunch break. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Leader. Honorable members, honorable members, we have a motion before us, and the motion is to withdraw division and then allow almost 3 members to contribute on the bill, and then we